Maybe the most exciting thing going into Marvel's Avengers is the potential to smash enemies as the Incredible Hulk. The draw of playing as a giant green ball of muscle is that you should be able to storm in and eliminate any threat with just a few swipes. If the Marvel's Avengers Beta has proved anything, it's that the squad of unstoppable heroes who have assembled to protect Earth aren't that super after all.
Who said you could have all the fun?
The beta kicks off with chaos unfolding on the Golden Gate Bridge, which provided a brief session with each hero to get a feel of their moveset.
Gotta admit it, that was pretty impressive.
Unfortunately, even in a heavily scripted intro, that limits your time with each hero, and switching between what should be their most exciting and unique abilities really highlights how slow and generic the combat really is. In comparison to Marvel's Spider-Man on PlayStation 4, Marvel's Avengers combat feels rigid and weak. Granted, this is only a beta, and a significant portion of each character's skill sets are locked off, but it's clear that the game as a service progression keeps the Avengers from feeling like the Avengers. Powers don't feel super at all, and knowing there's a grind ahead before unlocking more skills, and the need to find additional gear before any of the heroes feel threatening, is a real turn-on. Each hero has their own moveset, which largely relies on players mixing up light and heavy attacks to create strings of combos against enemies. Specific enemies, such as riot bots, require a charged attack to break their guard, but for the most part, you can get by on normal difficulty by just mashing 2 buttons. Approaching the same types of enemies in a similar fashion quickly becomes a monotonous slog, and while each hero has their own style, it's far from feeling truly unique. Once you've learned one character, you've essentially learned them all. What's worse is that all of those attacks feel disproportionately feeble. Beating up an enemy as Miss Marvel or Black Widow takes multiple hits, but it's the same story for the Hulk, who should be kicking them aside to focus on larger threats, like robots. This almost ventures into the ridiculous, where the Incredible Hulk needs to dodge shots from tiny weapons, breaking the illusion that he's, well, incredible. It doesn't feel like you can actually take advantage of the powers each hero should have, because this is a game that will launch with 6 playable heroes who all need to be able to handle everything. There are a few exciting moments, but these are usually the result of using one of 3 special moves that focus on each character's heroic abilities. This includes an ultimate move that's good for clearing entire rooms, and as you'd expect, these have long cooldowns. In addition to unlockable skills that offer new heavy attacks, signature moves, and intrinsic abilities, Marvel's Avengers also features upgradable gear. There are crates littered throughout missions filled with different items for each hero, and you're constantly reminded to adjust your loadout. Each slot requires different resources in order to boost that piece of gear, so there's a lot of materials to juggle. Some items will also have perks, but these seem mostly negligible. Having a 6.3 chance of a perfect evade granting a heroic charge from my squad doesn't feel like something to rave about. The most annoying thing about the gear was how often it felt necessary to keep swapping it out. Carefully selecting the gear that you believe is worth leveling up in an RPG isn't exactly a new concept, but spending precious resources on a vest from Miss Marvel only to find a better one around the corner was aggravating. The notion of scouting around for gear for characters who are supposed to have superhuman abilities just doesn't sit well. There are just too many asterisks on making these heroes fun to play. The system is built to prolong the grind, and it makes completing missions feel like chores, and that's on top of an already repetitive structure. The Marvel's Avengers Beta offers a lot of content for its 2-weekend duration. PS4 players got an extra weekend, as well as the promise of Spider-Man. Each of the available modes gives players a good idea of what to expect, but it's disappointing that the game is less interesting after trying them out. Crystal Dynamics has made solid improvements since the game was first revealed, but it's unconvincing that its service game model is compatible with making its superheroes genuinely fun to play. Thanks for watching, and head over to PCGamer.com to read the full impressions of the Marvel Avengers Beta.